given a document purported to be classified. The ID is in possession of top secret clearance that therefore will allow me to look at those documents. However, before we do that, even with the state security agency matters to err on the side of caution, would indicate to the person giving us a document, can you rather declassify before you give it to us? But I did not have sight of any of the classified documents. Now, you say you received a Section 28 application based on the 27, and you say, let us say the ID was given a document purported to be classified. Are you suggesting that you were given a document that was purported to be classified, or are you saying it's a hypothetical example? Should you be given a document purporting to be classified?
It was a hypothetical example.
So you have not seen the content of the documents that were pushed under Mr. Adams' door?
Correct, I have not.
You remember yesterday, you relied on specifically those documents as a ground for the suspicion that Mr. Adams harbored. How could you when you haven't seen the actual documents?
I rely on what he says in his affidavit, that this is, I received information under my door, this is what the information said. So I relied on his affidavit. He didn't give us classified documents, or I didn't get any classified documents. So, Counsel, he refers to it. He says, documents having been pushed under my door, I relied on that information. And of course, I think it goes on further to say he relied on other information he would have got.
Now, if you are looking for the referral affidavit, Mr. Adams's, it's at file 2, page 512, and the paragraph you're referring to is paragraph 3. File 2, page 512.
Yes, that is
now, if we go to 513 at paragraph 3, he says, my suspicion about General Khumalo and others became more clearer when I found an envelope pushed under my office door at Parliament, which contained some crime intelligence procurement documents using secret funds of crime intelligence and vetting documents. So, if I understand you correctly, within the engagement yesterday that there were no grounds, you said that is one of the grounds. Now, you haven't seen the content of the envelope and the documents therein, but you rely on Mr. Adams, who says, trust me, I've read them.
That is correct.
Okay.
Can I just on this, follow up on this? I don't remember which provision exactly in the NPA Act, but there is a provision that states that if in the course of your investigation you come upon, I'm going to call it information because I don't remember the exact terminology, of a possible offense, another offense that is not what you're investigating, you can refer it on if it's not part of what you're investigating. Am I correct in remembering
Yes,
such a provision?
that is correct.
Yes. Now, on this here, in the referral affidavit, Mr. Adams tells you that I have intelligence documents that were shoved under my door. And from those documents, I have even more reason to believe that Khumalo and them, General Khumalo and them, have committed offenses. Isn't that typically, because you know, you are in the sector, you know that when he says somebody shoved intelligence documents under me, it's material that he shouldn't have. You know that.
Correct.
Did you do anything in accordance with the provision of your act that says if you come upon information that suggests a possible offense being committed, you refer it to another agency? Did you refer this possession of intelligence documents that were on Mr. Adams's own account were not properly given to him or lawfully given to him? Did you refer it to the appropriate agency for investigation?
I did not, Commissioner, not having any knowledge or sight of the documents he referred to.
He tells you that he's got documents that speaks to intelligence matters. It's crime intelligence documents about procurement and something else. You have acted on his affidavit solely on suspicion. You did not have any facts to action anything in his affidavit that we have settled. He gives you information that tells you, I have, not only in my possession, I have had sight of crime intelligence documents that someone gave to me, and I don't know who, they put them under my door. That seems to me a classical case of you should have referred this to somebody. You don't need to see the documents to know. He's telling you, I've got possession of those documents. Why did you not consider it a case that must be referred to somebody else to look at, the appropriate authority to look at?
I did not.
Okay. And you don't have a reason why you didn't do it?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Your October 25 statement to the Commission, regarding the dockets. Now, this is, as of the 6th of December, you have authorized...
Ms. Silla, sorry, can
Yes.
I please interrupt you? I didn't realize
Absolutely.
you're asking
Absolutely,
a different
Commissioner.
question. Advocate Johnson, that referral that Ms. Silla referred you to exchange with Advocate Arendse, where you say you were not aware that a complaint has been laid with the minister. Can I ask you to repeat your explanation for why you answered the way you did?
At the time, I did not remember that letter. At the time when I was at the ad hoc committee.
You did not...
I did not recall that we had got a letter from the office of the minister.
Okay, so it's the same explanation.
It's the same explanation.
Thank you. Thanks, Ms. Silla.
Okay, that clarification. Staying with the transcript. And page 562. At the top of 562, Advocate Arendt says, were you aware that the matter had also been referred to SAPS? You respond, only insofar as Mr. Adams in his affidavit indicated his initial report to a police station somewhere in the Western Cape, and then his reporting of the same to a police station in Gauteng. That is the only SAPS reference that IDEC is aware of. Then Mr. Advocate Arendt refers you to page 2H3 of the ad hoc record and states, you will see there that is an email from Chief of Staff Ngabinde dated 1st November. Good morning, Major General Sibola. Ministry has received this complaint from a member of parliament. In order for the ministry to respond accordingly, please furnish this office with a report in responding to this complaint and the details of the investigating officer. You are not aware that this complaint was also being laid with the minister at the time, Minister Mkunu, and in turn he was referring to the police, and you say, no, not at all. Mr. Arendt continues, at the front of your bundle, there should be an information note that is addressed to the National Commissioner. It is dated 30th July 2025. It is signed by Lieutenant General Divisional Commissioner Inspectorate, P.A. Jacobs. This memo records the passage of this complaint by Honorable Adams and how it gets to the National Commissioner. The purpose of the information note is to provide a response to the allegations that, one, the division inspectorate was complicit and irregular in the handling of the service complaint leveled by Mr. Adams, and two, to reflect on an averment that the division inspectorate irregularly handed 7 dockets to the investigating directorate against corruption, IDEC. Were those the dockets that would have been requested by the IDEC investigation? Then you say the dockets that were requested are those dockets. So you confirm. I'll stop there. Yesterday we gave you 2 annexures MK15 and MK16. Separate, yes. Now, if you go to MK15, it starts at page 269.
I have it.
At page 270 is a cover page of a document, an urgent memo from Lieutenant General P.A. Jacobs. It's dated the 30th of July, 2025. We, before this commission, have it as MK 15. Now, it would appear that it served before, the same pack of documents served before the Ad Hoc Committee. And that is the report of General Jacobs. Now, if you go to page 272, and I take it that the same report with all its annexures served before the Ad Hoc Committee as we have it here. At page 272, it lists all the annexures. Now, if one has regard to the content of this report, then it was brought to your attention, at least at the Ad Hoc Committee, about the complaint to the Minister's office, it being referred to the National Commissioner, and so on. Why then, when reference was made to this particular document, you do not say, oh, now I learn that, I'm only learning now that this happened?
I do believe I indicated to the ad hoc that
Yeah.
at the ad hoc, this was the first time I saw this report of General Jacobs. It had not been made available to IDEC before. If my memory serves me, I do recall that that was my response, Council.
Okay, now, let's, because we are on this document, unfortunately I have to leave it for the moment and to come back to it, because I would like to go, I referred you to your statement, paragraph 8, and you don't have to go there if you can trust me to read it correctly into the record. At paragraph...
Can you display it so that at least he
Yes,
has sight
that we
of
can do. At paragraph 23 of your statement, page 7, it reads, the referral was made by Mr. Fadiel Adams. It was not treated any differently. It was supervised and overseen like any other. There were 4 dockets that were relevant to the referral. Following the common established process, I sent a letter to SAPS Divisional Commissioner Detectives Lieutenant General Sintumule requesting the dockets. That's what you state. You repeated that same allegation or that claim before ad hoc at page 562, having dealt with General Jacobs' report. At 562 at the bottom you state about the dockets. They were requested by myself as the ID on a letter to the Divisional Commissioner Detectives General Sintumune, given that as the Divisional Commissioner Detectives, I automatically and ordinarily assumed that any dockets to be found, or if they were at head office, would have been with the detective component. You are asked by Advocate Arendse, when would that have been? You received the complaint early in November. Your response is, I will, when we do break, ask my office for a copy of the letter, but it will have been soon after the authorization of the matter. So it's no earlier than the 6th of December. We've established a date to it now.
That is correct.
Okay. You say, but I do recall having written to Lieutenant General Sintumule, and I recall her then ensuring that the dockets were received accordingly by IDEC. Up until yesterday, your testimony was that you requested these documents from Major General Kumalo, and you clarified not Dumisani Kumalo. I think you provided another name. Mbuso, thank you, Commissioner. Mbuso Kumalo. From General Sintumule, you say to Major General Mbuso, who did you request these dockets from?
So at the time, Commissioners, my recollection was my letter to General Sintumule. Sorry, Chair. At the time, my recollection was my letter to General Sentumule. I had subsequently, but well after ad hoc, the investigation team advised and in fact showed that we had first written that morning to General Khumalo of Gauteng, the detective head, and on the same day, a letter followed to Lieutenant General Sentumule as the Divisional Commissioner of Detectives.
Why to both?
When the letter was written to General Khumalo, it was because Adams had indicated he had opened dockets in Orlando, Chair, that falls under Gauteng. So we had to write to the Commissioner. And he indicated, if my memory serves me correctly, he indicated to the investigator, either it's Mr. Rapes or Mr. Perumal, that the dockets were no longer with him and that the dockets were with the inspectorate, if I recall the feedback correctly. That would be the inspectorate that we're referring to in terms of where General Jacobs was the head. I then write to the Divisional Commissioner of Detectives, Lieutenant General Sentumule, as the national custodian of the dockets. And General Sentumule facilitated the receipt of those dockets. Those dockets were then, in fact, commissioners and council found to be with Lieutenant General Peter Jacobs and were then handed over.
So Mr. Adams would have told you on the 6th itself, because you wrote to General Mbuso Khumalo on the 6th. But on the same day, you write to General Sentumule for the explanation that you've just given. It must mean, therefore, that after writing to General Khumalo, even before he responded to you, you were in touch with Mr. Adams about these dockets, and then he told you then that actually they are with the inspectorate. Is that how it happened?
No, Commissioner Baloy. In his affidavit, the Section 27 referral, he initially in paragraph 1 refers to the dockets he opened in the Western Cape. And thereafter in paragraph 8, he says, a few days after I opened the 3 cases at the Cape Town police station, I decided to go to Gauteng. And I went to Orlando police station where I opened another 3 cases based on the 3 cases I had opened in, and that is where we got it from, that he had opened cases again in Gauteng.
I understand that. You, and unless I misunderstood you, I understood you to say to Ms. Sello that you wrote to General Khumalo requesting the dockets after you, because you're relying on the Section 27.
That is correct.
So you write to the Gauteng head, General Khumalo, to give you these dockets. This is on the 6th of December.
Correct.
Yes. But on the very same day, you write to General Sentumule now at head office, even before you get a response from General Khumalo. And I understood you to say you wrote to General Sentumule because Mr. Adams told you that the dockets are with the inspectorate. Did I understand your evidence correctly? Or did I hear it correctly?
Commissioner, we wrote to the provincial head, Major General Khumalo. He had informed the investigators that the dockets were not with him. It is on that basis that we then made the follow-up on where the dockets were. Now, I'm not sure whether it was Investigator Rapeso or Investigator Perumal who subsequently found out that those dockets were with the inspectorate, which is why I then wrote on the very same day. But they had got a response that it is not with Major General Khumalo.
Okay, all right. And that response, they didn't get it from Mr. Adams. I had misheard you then.
You misheard me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you on that. So you wrote to Major General Khumalo on the 6th requesting the docket. On the 6th, Major General Khumalo advised that the dockets are not with him.
he had an engagement with one of the two investigators. It's either Mr. Rapeso or Mr. Perama.
Oh, so pursuant to your letter, he then had an engagement.
Correct,
Who initiated that engagement? Engagement.
correct.
Who initiated that engagement? It has to be one of them, because we wouldn't know.
It would have been, it would have been Mr. Perama
Okay.
that you spoke to. But
So-
the finding out, sorry, Council.
Go ahead, my
But the
apologies.
finding out of that the dockets were then with the inspectorate is something that was conveyed by Mr. Rapeso, the other investigator.
Oh, so I hope your council and representatives are going to keep a running list. Could you avail us that letter that you wrote to General Kumalo? And any written response that you may have received there too?
Yes, I can make that letter
Please,
available.
would appreciate it. Then you write to General Sentumule.
Correct, Council.
Same day, I take it, the 6th?
Yes.
So can I include that letter in the pack for documents?
In fact, when we take the tea adjournment, I do believe I have them with me.
Okay.
If I haven't made any notes on them, I will make them available. If I've made notes, apologies, and we'll make sure we get you clean copies. I will avail what I
Accepted.
have. If
Thank you
there's
so
anything
much.
short, we'll ask for that to be availed to yourselves.
And then, so you wrote to Major General Kumalo because of the Orlando dockets.
That is correct.
Who is his equivalent in the Western Cape? Did you write to the person with the equivalent post to now get the Western Cape dockets?
That equivalent would have been Provincial Commissioner Patekile, but there was no need to engage General Patekile, because as per Adams himself, he says, I opened the very same. So if it's the very same, we get the dockets that we got. We didn't go back to we didn't see the need to go back to the Western Cape, because he said he opened the same. He made the same allegations, sorry, Council, in Gauteng.
Can I just get clarity on this? When IDEC was told that the dockets are with the inspectorate, did it not cross IDEC's mind that, well, if the inspectorate is already investigating these issues, then it's their mandate, we don't have to deal with this?
I would agree with you, Commissioner Kumalo, if we knew what the dockets were doing at the inspectorate. It is for that reason that I write to General Sentumule, who is the custodian of dockets. She facilitates that process. If, in fact, she came back to IDEC to say that we cannot facilitate those dockets from the inspectorate because there is whether it's a service delivery complaint or whatever it is that they were looking at, then we had no right to ask for those dockets.
It's slightly different. You know what the inspectorate does, so you know what their function is. And you get told that the very 4 dockets you are looking for are with the inspectorate. The first thing that would cross my mind is it means they are investigating the same thing that I'm being asked to investigate. Because inspectorate is not the local police station, or it's not the, what do they call it, the station of first, I can't remember the term that was used many times. That's not where the case is opened. So if a docket is with the inspectorate, it must be there for one reason and one reason only, to investigate what went wrong with those dockets. So as part of your thinking process, either under Section 27 or 28, did it not cross your mind that, well, if the matter has been referred to the inspectorate, they have authority to investigate these issues, then we don't have to duplicate or use the same resources that they are using for that investigation?
May I respond? That if and that is why I just go back to my previous point. If in fact General Sentumule came back to indicate that the inspectorate was vested with the investigation and what that investigation was, and sorry, IDEC, goodbye, you cannot get those, we would have stepped back. The inspectorate, from how I understand it, Commissioner Kumalo, and if I'm incorrect, My understanding is they were looking at a service delivery complaint. That is how I see the inspectorate, is if the rest of the police are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. It does not, of necessity, therefore, equate that they would have been looking at the allegations that Adams made in his Section 27 referral, hence the request for the docket.
You said if I'm corrected, but I assume now having seen the June 2025 report, you know that.
I now understand it
you
differently.
now understand. Yes.
Correct.
On this, can I ask this question? When Mr. Adams gives you an affidavit, the Section 27, and he says, I've laid these complaints and nothing is happening, or they've been intercepted, before you make the decision to investigate, is there a reason you don't inquire with the SAPS? They are your sister agency. You, at that point, I assume you know nothing. We have this inadequate Section 27 by any interpretation, by any account. It's woefully inadequate. It contains only suspicions. But more importantly, that affidavit tells you, I have laid a complaint with the SAPS about these matters. Here are the docket numbers. How is it that your first step as a sister organization, you don't say to the SAPS, we've received this complaint, this affidavit, what is happening? Because then you will get an answer that we are investigating, we are trying to get hold of whatever's contained in that report. You would have gotten that answer, and you would have known to leave it, as you say, that had we known what's happening, we would have left it at that point. How is it that that's not the first thing you do, instead of deploying resources? And I deliberately say deploying resources because you do have a complaint that you don't have adequate resources to investigate all matters that fall within your mandate that you should investigate. How is it not the first reaction to find out where the complaint has been laid before you demand the dockets, to find out, have you received this complaint? Is anything happening? Is there anything to this concern that they've been intercepted?
My first port of call, Commissioner Baloy, was I did call. I called Lieutenant General Sentumule.
After you
letter.
received, before?
Before I sent a letter.
Yeah, but this is after you've now made the decision to investigate. So my question is, before you make the decision to investigate, before you say to Mr. Perumal, whatever you say to him that makes him go and speak to Mr. Khan, before you say to Ms. Ramsameh, make an application in terms of Section 28.3, include these names, before all of that, you haven't yet made the decision we are investigating. You get a complaint from, yes, a member of parliament, but he's a member of the public. For all intents and purposes, that complaint is not laid by a member of parliament because he's not representing parliament. He's a member of public who lays a complaint with you and the complaint, as we discussed yesterday, is my dockets have been intercepted. There's no intention to conduct any investigation. So I'm still at that point where that is the complaint. How is it that it is not the first step that you take to inquire from the SAPS? Is it so that you have these dockets? What are you doing about them before you make the decision? SAPS is doing nothing about it. Give